Am I wrong for kicking my sister out from every streaming platform I own because she kicked my dad from her Netflix? Low blow, man. My 25 male mom passed away 4 years ago, and one of the things my dad clinged on to ever since was movies. They really enjoyed doing it together, so I guess he took comfort on keeping the activity on his own. At the time, my sister, 32 female, got a 2-screen Netflix subscription and gave one to my dad so he could use it whenever he wanted. During those 4 years, I was able to get pretty much all of the rest, and since my sister was paying for my dad's Netflix, I thought I gave one of the screens to use, so no biggie. I've been out of town and I finally came back a week ago. I told my dad that we should see a movie together on Netflix or something, but he said that Netflix wasn't working. I found it odd, so I asked what he meant while taking his phone. He said that he asked my sister a few months ago, but she said that it wasn't working, so they'd wait for it to work. I only hummed and tried to log in again, but it didn't let me, so I called my sister asking for the password. She said she couldn't share the account anymore because now that they had my nephew, 2 male, they were using one of the screens for him and another for her husband. This enraged me. I asked her why she didn't tell us before and why did she lie to my dad. She said she didn't have the heart to tell him, and I said, but you have the heart to lie to him, don't you? And I hung up. Oh my God, how can you be such, how can you cheap out on your parents like that? Okay, sure, buy a 3rd screen, whatever it is, your dad lost his wife, you'd rather, oh my God, Since then, I've gotten my dad a new Netflix account and I've changed all of the passwords so only my dad and I have them. 2 days ago, my sister called saying that my brother-in-law wanted to watch Game of Thrones, but the account kicked him out, and I told her, yeah, it was me. She flipped and asked for the password because they can't afford it on their own, and I said, well, I didn't have the heart to tell you, and I hung up the phone again. My brother-in-law texted me calling me petty and an asshole. My dad's oblivious to all of this. My sister called again and asked for the passwords for one of the platforms, the children-friendly one, because my nephew wants to see Encanto, and I said she has to apologize to my dad first, at least, and she said my nephew's discomfort is on me.
When my girlfriend and I get into a fight, she pees on the floor. So throwaway account for obvious reasons. But a couple of months ago, I, male 24, met this really incredible girl, female 22, and we hit it off. We shared a lot of common interests and spent pretty much every waking moment together. She had this really weird obsession with being a cat girl, but I thought it was kind of hot, so I didn't really care too much. Even though it was pretty early into our relationship, we decided to move in together. And it was pretty good for the first couple of weeks. But then things started getting weird. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I need you to understand that I'm being 100% serious. She started pissing on the carpet when she's frustrated with me. She says it's a part of her kinship or something. But when we have an argument, she'll just squat and piss somewhere in the apartment. I don't know what to do. I'm losing my mind, and my entire apartment smells like urine. I do genuinely enjoy her company, but this is getting out of hand.
I don't know what to do.
I need help, please.
What is going on?
Are the straight people okay?
What is going on? Not only do you have to argue about it, not only you have to worry about losing the argument, but your loss now results into a urinated carpet.
No.
Oh my God.
No. Can you imagine getting so mad at someone that you piss the floor?
Not only can I not control my emotions, but my bowels as well.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife to return it all? My pregnant wife, 26 female, and I, 35 male, are really struggling at the moment as I lost my job and my wife had to quit her job as she's suffering from hyperemesis gravidarum. We've used up our savings and currently are living off of our credit cards, but I've got a job lined starting in March. My wife is very close to her sister, 31 female, and a few days ago, she confided in her that we are struggling. Her sister has never liked me, but has always been polite to me. She has always kept me at arm's length despite my attempts at trying to foster a warmer relationship. A few days ago, my sister-in-law came to visit while I was away, and she was appalled at the state of the house and the lack of baby supplies, as the baby room was bare bones and we hadn't bought many baby things. When I arrived back home, she had given me a lecture on taking better care of her sister and scolded me for not getting ready for the baby. The next day, she came back and she had bought things for the house and the baby. My wife also told her that we had to sell her car to pay off some of the bills and rent. Again, my sister-in-law had to show off that she bought her a car, and to top it off, on Sunday, she sent her $50K and then texted her this, in quotes, "This is your money and your baby's. Do not use it on that man. If you need more, tell me and I'll send more. And remember, wherever I am, there's a home for you." I feel like her sister is trying to make me look like a failure, and I expressed that to my wife. My wife and I argued, and in a fit of anger, my wife said that I only feel like a failure because I've been failing. She has apologized since, but I still stand by telling her to return everything, as I feel like accepting her sister's so-called generosity is a way to manipulate my wife into thinking I'm a bad husband.
I feel like initially, like, obviously the husband's the one writing in, like, am I the asshole for telling her to, like, return it all? I think your specific problem that you're writing in about, yeah, you're in an unimaginably tough position. You have a baby on the way. You both lost your jobs. So, yeah, he's embarrassed. But, like, the sister is also doing you a massive, huge favor. I just think it's like, it's interesting. Like, a lot of the comments OP is throwing in, like, she's never liked me. This $50K is for you and your baby. Don't spend it on that man. Like, is there context missing? Like, what has OP done that, like, would give the sister this feeling?
You do wonder where that comment's coming from, though.
It's
because
weird.
that changes the whole dynamic of everything. And that in the wrong light would make you want to say return it all.
Yeah. Because she's not respecting us. She's not
Correct,
respecting
but
me
also,
as your partner.
But also in that position, yeah, you take a punch in the face, but you also take like what could be a saving grace.
I think obviously he's trying to paint the sister-in-law in a bad light, but he didn't like necessarily need to include a lot of what he included too, right? This is very intentioned also from him. Like, I'm really sitting over here analyzing.
Well, but that's fine. But even still, then why even question and put your foot forward and say, no, we're going to return it all?
I'm looking at the comments, and in really big letters, one of the comments says, OP has been unemployed for 2 years.
Oh.
His pride didn't mind living off of his wife, who had to leave her job 5 months ago. It's taken that long for him to finally line up a job for himself. It's no wonder his sister-in-law doesn't like him, and why she told his wife the money isn't for him.
I guess, like, looking at it like this too, like, the husband should be grateful that your baby has someone that amazing in their life.
Right.
But instead, he called it showing off.
I think that's his ego. He's
which is absolutely crazy. And so the overall vote here is you're the asshole.
Okay.
And in this situation, like you guys were saying, he doesn't have the luxury to do that. And it's not just like it's not a petty thing. It's real life. It's concerns. It's not having a job. It's wanting to bring a kid into this world and have them be set up comfortably. So yeah, and the good thing is that he did do an edit, and he said, okay, I get it. I'm the asshole. I'll apologize to my wife and to my sister-in-law. It hurt, but thank you for the brutal feedback.
Wow.
Okay.
So
growth.
There is growth there.
There's growth.
Yeah.
Well, there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope here.
Yeah.
College, my roommate was always making herself dinners on the stove, and then she would leave them out overnight on the stove. And I was always saying, girl, you can't do that. We're going to end up with a pest problem. You're going to attract mice. You're going to attract bugs. And she would say, Kate, you are so high strung. You just need to relax. I can leave my food out overnight. Nothing bad is going to happen. Then one morning we came out to the kitchen, and her little pasta pot had been tossed to the floor, and it was cleaned out. And I said, I told you this would happen. You kept leaving your food out, and you led the raccoon straight to us. They probably got in through the cat door in the back. We didn't have a cat, but people who lived in the townhouse before us obviously did. But it was such a tiny cat door, we weren't really worried about having it covered up or anything. And she said, okay, you win. I'll start cleaning up my dinner before bed. And so that night before bed, she made herself dinner. She put it away in the fridge. She rinsed out the pot. And that night we heard clattering noises in the kitchen, like something was in there pushing stuff around, making a mess. And we thought, oh no, we've angered the raccoons because we didn't leave them an offering tonight. But we were a little bit nervous that it was an actual person, so we didn't want to go out and scare off the raccoon, because what if it wasn't a raccoon? But then we were like, it's probably a raccoon, so we just rolled over and went to sleep. And the next morning we thought, okay, clearly we have a raccoon problem. Now, instead of blockading the door, we decided we wanted to catch it. But did we go out and buy one of those fancy animal catching cages? No, we made a trap that was something straight out of a cartoon. We took a cardboard box and we propped it up with a stick, and we put beef jerky around the stick, and we thought this way when the raccoon goes to grab grab the beef jerky, the box will fall down on it. And then we dumped flour all around our trap because we thought on the improbable chance that the raccoon escapes this flimsy box we're going to try and trap it in, at least this way we'll have some paw prints. That way we'll be able to determine whether it's actually a raccoon or a possum or whatever. And we went to bed that night really proud of ourselves. We were like, we're going to catch ourselves a heffalump. And that night after we'd fallen asleep, we heard a clattering sound in the kitchen. We got so excited and we scrambled into the kitchen because we thought now that we've angered the raccoon, let's confront it. But there were no animals in the kitchen. The box had gotten tossed over, the meat was gone, and we saw in the flour there were very clear, cute little bean paw prints from a cat. Now, it should have been obvious to us that it was a cat since we had a cat door, but cats weren't at the top of our suspect list because we didn't know that they liked rigatoni. And we decided, well, we don't care if a cat comes to hang out in here, but we are going to be careful not to leave food out for it because we don't want it to get sick or anything. And then we swept up the flour, and my roommate had to leave, and as she was walking out of the townhouse, our neighbor was also leaving their house, and she was like, oh, hey, neighbor, you walking this way? Me too. And they started walking together, and they started talking. And neighbor said, hey, do you want to know something crazy? And my roommate said, always. And neighbor said, so we have an indoor-outdoor cat, and today she came home covered in flour. We have no idea what she got into. Maybe she's a secret baker, haha. And my roommate went, what? That is so crazy. How could a cat get covered in flour? And the neighbor even showed her pictures of the cat. It was a long-haired cat, and it was covered. It looked like the cat had rolled in the flour, maybe in like a panic after the box fell on it. And when my roommate came home and told me what happened, we felt really bad for scaring their cat so bad. And I said, you could have come clean. You could have told her what happened. And she said, no, I couldn't, Kate, because what we did was really weird. While we were doing it, it was really fun. But then when I thought about explaining it and saying it out loud to another person, I realized how stupid it was.
Am I in the wrong for refusing to cover my scar and wearing a bikini as it triggered my friend? I, 24 female, had a cancer scare a few years back and had a biopsy done on my upper leg. The scar has faded now, but it's still fairly noticeable and about 7 centimeters long. Thankfully, it's only a scar and nothing came of it. For a while, I was insecure about it and stopped wearing skirts or tight leggings where you could see the outline of the scar. But now that I'm accepted it's going to be there, I started to wear whatever and realized that nobody cares about it apart from the odd question. We went to the beach yesterday as a friend group and I wore a bikini. I was excited to get a tan and my friend Anna brought her other friend, Dana, 25 female. I've met her before but I don't know her very well. However, I do know that she started a fundraiser for her mom who's fighting cancer right now. Dana's family situation is quite difficult as her dad passed away recently and her mom has stage 4 and Dana is juggling a lot. I came earlier than Anna and Dana and I was already in my bikini when they joined us, and Dana was nice to me and asked about my new job. Then Anna went to say hi to others and Dana mentioned my scar and recognized it was a biopsy. She asked if I could wear a beach cover-up and it was triggering her, and insensitive of me as I know her mom is going through it right now. I said no, I'm here to get a tan and cover-up will ruin that, and Dana didn't say anything but didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. Today, Anna texted me telling me that Dana told her what happened, and while she agrees Dana's comment was weird, I should have just given her a free pass as she's not in the best place mentally right now. I said it was really weird and no I wouldn't. I genuinely don't think that I'm in the wrong and I think she's being really weird about the situation. Obviously if I'm in the wrong I'll apologize, but am I?